Hey guys, it is time for math, and this week you've been learning lots of different ways to measure things. So today I get to have the fun of teaching you about one way to measure, and that is height. Finding out how tall something is. Here's that great big word, height. And when we measure the height of something, we start from the bottom and go all the way to the top to see how tall something is. For example, I drew a picture of a tree for you, and if I were going to measure the height of the tree or how tall the tree is, I would start at the bottom and I would go all the way to the top. Okay? I could use lots of different things to measure. I could use a ruler. I could also use things around the house. Maybe you've got cubes or blocks. You could start at the bottom because you're measuring how far something is from the bottom to the top when you're talking about height. You could stack cubes and then count and see how many cubes tall the tree is. Now, I also drew a flower. So we're going to look right here. If I'm going to measure the height of the flower, I'm going to start at the bottom and go all the way to the top. That's right, bottom to the top, and see how tall that flower is. Again, I could use cubes, I could use blocks, I could even get yarn and measure from the top to the bottom and then lay the yarn down and count the blocks along the yarn. Lots of different things you can use to measure. But height is from the bottom to the top. Now, this flower is shorter than the tree. The tree is taller than the flower. So as you begin to practice height and measuring how tall things are, you can also compare objects and begin to talk about them and talk about their size using words that you're learning. For example, like we just said, the tree is taller than the flower. The flower is shorter than the tree. You're comparing those two things in their height. So I have a few things that I have in my basket beside me over here that I'm going to show you. For example, I would love for you to stand up really straight and tall at home and think of a couple of things that are shorter than you, okay? Or think of two things that you are taller than, all right? I'm gonna count to three and I want you to think. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, think. Okay, have you thought of something? I hope you have. All right, I did. So I'm standing straight and tall to show you my height, how tall I am. And in my basket, over here, I have a teddy bear. Now, I'm gonna put the teddy bear beside me, and again, you measure from the bottom to the top. If we were going to compare me to the teddy bear, you would say Mrs. Hall is taller than the teddy bear. The teddy bear is shorter than Mrs. Hall. Now, let's see if I have something in my basket that is shorter than the teddy bear. So the teddy bear this time is my main object we're looking at. The teddy bear is this tall. Let's measure, let's compare some objects. I'm gonna reach in my basket. I have something I love. My coffee cup with my name on it. So I'm gonna put that coffee cup beside the bear and we're gonna compare. Which one is taller? Okay, I think you got it. The bear is taller than the coffee cup. The coffee cup is shorter than the bear. Again, we're comparing as we measure from the bottom to the top to get the height. Now, look at this. I also have a little coffee cup that I love because Claire used to use this when she was little bitty. And it's a coffee cup. We put juice in it for her. But look, we both have coffee cups. Just because I have two coffee cups, does it mean they're the same height or the same size? I think you said no, it does not mean that, does it? So we're going to put them side by side and let's compare. What would we say about Claire's coffee cup? It is what? If we're talking about height, we would say Claire's coffee cup is shorter than Mrs. Hall's. Mrs. Hall's coffee cup is taller than Claire's. So height lets you know the distance of something or how far something is from the bottom to the top. Now, one more thing I want to tell you that was really fun. We used to do at our house when Claire and Connor were little. Again, if you're a Hall star, you've heard lots of Claire and Connor stories. I used to have Claire and Connor stand up against the door frame when they were little. Each year we did this. And I would measure how tall they were from the bottom, where they were standing on the ground, all the way to where their head was. And I would draw a line with a pencil. Then the next year we'd come back and do it again. And guess what? Every year they grew. Every year that pencil mark got taller and taller and taller. Now when we started, Connor was down here. And then he was about here. And then he was here. And guess what? If he came out today, he would be way up here. He's a lot taller than his mama now. So I used to be taller. Connor was shorter. Now Connor is taller and I am shorter. So again, practice that at home. Maybe you want to stand up against the wall at home and get mom or dad to measure you. And then find someone in your house that is taller than you. You could even get your whole family and line you all up from the shortest to the tallest. Or go the other way, tallest to the shortest. So lots of different ways you can use practicing about height. Now, after this video, I do want you to do some of those things. I want you to go find some objects, like I just showed you in my basket, line them up from the shortest to the tallest. I also want you to try the worksheet that I've attached and get your family together later and line everybody up in order from shortest to tallest. Remember, height, we measure from the bottom to the top. All right, go have fun. Measure, measure, measure. You're mathematicians.